have FromSoftware just confirmed not only the release date for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, but also an Armored Core DLC and potentially a release window for their next upcoming IP? Basically, yeah. And here's what they had to say about it all. On February the 28th, 2023, FromSoftware announced their upcoming DLC for Elden Ring titled Shadow of the Erdtree. And in the past 9 months, we have heard absolutely nothing. Well, the parent company of FromSoftware, Kadokawa, have just released their earnings results for the second quarter of 2023. This report covers how the company has done financially over the last quarter and what it expects in the future. And while Kadokawa's report covers their entire business, ranging from publications, videos, web services, education, we will obviously be just looking at the sections of the report that covers their gaming sector. Officially, at the start of the report, in their summary, they have said the following. The release timing of DLC for Elden Ring has not yet been announced, but development is proceeding smoothly. Having read the report, I can pretty confidently say that the DLC for Elden Ring will be released either in or just before March 2024. Now, while they haven't said this in those exact words, they have given us a pretty strong indicator, and here is why I suspect the DLC for Elden Ring will be released at that time. So, to start off, in their report they confirmed that FromSoftware are expanding their development staff by 20%. And if you take a look at FromSoftware's recruitment webpage, you can clearly see they are currently in a hiring spree, expanding their team for work on multiple new projects beyond Elden Ring's upcoming DLC. The positions range from artists, environmental designers, sound engineers, and quality assurance managers. This confirms the report that they are significantly scaling up their team. The wide variety of roles suggests that the new projects are substantial, and more than likely fully fledged games as opposed to smaller scale content. There are 2 job descriptions that jumped out at me, the first being a motion designer. In the description for this role it states, "I am in charge of motion production for various characters, such as humans, creatures, and mecha." Well, what FromSoftware IP do we know that has mechs in it? That's right, Armored Core. And with other details indicating a further investment in Armored Core 6, it is safe to say that some form of DLC or expansion for Armored Core 6 is in development. In addition to this role, there is also a role for effects artist. In the description for the role it says, "We create effects that give the game world a sense of realism and colour, from environmental effects such as dust and rain to fantastical effects such as magic, tailored to the character, background and situation." Now, while I do concede that most of FromSoftware's previous titles have included magic of some form, it is very coincidental that we have also received reports of a magic-based game called Project Spellbound, to then find a listing specifying a requirement for creating magical effects. Maybe I am biased in my view here, but I do believe that this is another strong indicator that the leak for Project Spellbound is indeed legit. Anyway, back to the Elden Ring DLC. In their summary of consolidated earnings results for the second quarter of the fiscal year ending 31st of March 2024, they have stated that in the video and gaming segments, we will further grow sales of popular titles from the first half that drove a high rate of progress, and also expect new titles released during the second half to perform well. This clearly indicates that during the second half of the current financial year, ending in March 2024, they are forecasting new titles to perform well. New titles. Then, in the gaming segment of their business overview, their outlook for second half of the financial year states, global sales of Armored Core 6 are expected to grow, but more importantly, measures for maximising LTV, lifetime value, of Elden Ring will be taken. So this is saying that before the end of March 2024, FromSoftware will be actively doing something that will trigger an increase in sales for the company with the Elden Ring IP. This can only be the DLC. This is then further confirmed by the graph they provided in their management targets for the new mid-term management plan. This slide covers both their forecast for the financial year ending 2024 and the following 3 years through to 2027. Providing the graph is even remotely accurate in its visual representation, you can clearly see a large rise in profit in the gaming business at the end of the financial year for 2024. This is then followed by another spike the following year around the same time. This could very well be a DLC for Armored Core, or more potentially the newly leaked IP called Project Spellbound that I covered in a previous video. In addition to the upcoming IPs, in their gaming mid-term management policy strategies, they have stated that they will expand the game development lines, aggressively invest in the development of mobile games using their IP, but more interestingly, expand the scope of FromSoftware's own publishing. Previously, FromSoftware have used third parties to publish their games globally, using Sony for Bloodborne, Activision for Sekiro, and Bandai Namco for the Dark Souls series, Elden Ring and Armored Core. FromSoftware have then handled the publishing within Japan itself. This is a big move for FromSoftware and shows they are hugely investing within their own infrastructure. So with this, FromSoftware are massively gearing up to release more content more frequently. And with this in mind, under the report section subtitled Strength Our Media Mix Through Inter-Business Collaboration, it says that console games will be getting IP-based own game titles in video animation. And for a little bit of history to this, Sony bought a stake in FromSoftware with the intention of expanding media mix, and several rumours have been doing the works regarding both a Sekiro anime and also a Bloodborne movie. In addition to this, a recent leak on Reset Era is claiming that the next FromSoftware title will be a PlayStation exclusive. And as we all know, FromSoftware have a history of doing exclusive games with Sony for both Demon's Souls and Bloodborne, so this rumour isn't hard to believe, especially as it does come from a credible source. Omni previously leaked both the Sekiro and Elden Ring trailers prior to release, and Reset Era has provided several leaks that turned out to be true, such as Last Guardian, Horizon Zero Dawn and the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So while this doesn't necessarily mean everything said by Omni and posted on Reset Era is true, it does hold some weight. Then at the end of the report in the FAQ, in response to the question, what is the development status of DLC for Elden Ring and when will it be released? They have responded with, we are currently working hard on the development of DLC for Elden Ring, but we have not announced a release date at this time. So you may be asking yourself, when will we know for sure? Well, all previous FromSoftware titles have released their DLCs within around 1 year of the release of the main entry. Dark Souls took 13 months before the DLC arrived. Dark Souls 2 had a 4-month gap from the initial release and then went on to release a total of 3 DLCs, each 1 month after the other. Bloodborne took 9 months for a DLC to drop, and Dark Souls 3 took 7 months for the Ashes of Ariandel to release, followed by the Ring City DLC a further 5 months later. So Elden Ring is already way over schedule when it comes to FromSoftware's previous games, but it has been rumoured that Elden Ring was initially going to have 2 DLCs, which have now been combined into one larger DLC. Also, FromSoftware have historically used gaming events to announce their upcoming projects and to show off game trailers. And what better timing than this year's Game Awards, which will be taking place on the 7th of December 2023. If, like I believe, that the DLC will drop the following March, this would be the perfect time to build up even more anticipation for the eagerly awaited DLC of what is arguably their most successful game to date. Plus, as they won Game of the Year 2022 with Elden Ring, it's only right that they use a return to this event to launch such a big announcement for the same title. So with that in mind, what do you think? Will Shadow of the Erdtree release next March? Is an Armored Core DLC on the way? And will Project Spellbound ever be more than just a hope and a prayer? Let me know in the comments section below. And as always, I will keep you up to date with any additional information as and when it drops. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more FromSoftware content.